Now it's time to see how well you really understood the first part of the lesson. I am going to give you some exercises. As soon as I put the exercises on the screen, you need to copy down the exercises. Once you get them copied, you need to stop the tape, and then you need to work the exercises. If you are unable to work the exercises, then either listen to the tape again or get someone to help you. Once you have the exercises worked, then you restart the tape to check your answers. Anytime your answers disagree with mine, you need to check with someone. Once or twice, I'm going to put up incorrect answers just to see if you're doing what you're supposed to. So anytime your answers disagree with mine, be sure to check with someone. It may be that you didn't miss it, but I do want you to be aware that you should check your answers. If you disagree with what I have, be sure to check. If it's my mistake, or if I've decided to give you an incorrect answer to see if you're asking, that's fine. If it's your mistake, then you need to find out what you're doing wrong so that you can fix it before you do a lot of incorrect practice. Here are your exercises. I will read them for you. As I read them, copy them down. And then once you get them copied, be sure to stop the tape. Then you can work them and restart the tape to check your answers. The first one, 5 cubed. 5 exponent 3. The second one, 5 to the negative third power. 5 exponent negative 3. The third one, negative 8 squared. Negative 8 exponent 2. The fourth one, the opposite of 8 to the negative second power. The opposite of 8 exponent negative 2. The fifth one, 3/5 squared. 3/5 squared. The sixth one, 3/5 to the negative 2. The seventh one, 3/5 to the 0 power. 3/5 to the 0 power. The eighth one, the opposite of 9 to the 0 power. Now I'm going to give you the answers. The answer to the first one is 125. The second one, 1 divided by 125, or 1/125th. The third one, 64. The fourth one, a negative 1/64. The fifth one, 9/25. The sixth one, 25/9. The seventh one, 1. The eighth one, negative 1. Now that you have learned how to deal with negative exponents, let's combine negative exponents with the order of operations to simplify more expressions. Now notice this is a starred expression, or it will be just as soon as I put the star down. So this is one that you need to know if you do not already. Even if you already have it on a study sheet, this one is so important, I suggest you put it down again. The order of operations. 1. Work inside symbols of inclusion. 2. Do exponents and roots. 3. multiply and divide from left to right. 4, add and subtract from left to right. Now let's use the order of operations to evaluate a couple expressions. Let's evaluate 2 subtract 2/3 to the negative 2 power. The first thing I need to do is to do the roots, because you do what's in symbols of inclusion first. Well, inside symbols of inclusion I have the fraction 2/3. 2/3 cannot be reduced, so I cannot do anything else inside symbols of inclusion. So now I go to my exponents. A negative exponent tells me to take the reciprocal. So I can rewrite the problem as 2 subtract 3/2 squared. A negative exponent tells me to take the reciprocal of the base. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. I copy everything else exactly the same. I leave the 2, I leave the subtract, I take the reciprocal of the base, and of course once I take the reciprocal, I leave off the negative exponent, because the negative exponent tells me to take the reciprocal. Once I take the reciprocal, I don't want to do it again. Just like if someone gives you a list of chores to do, once you do the chore, you mark it off and you do not leave it down. But I still have the exponent. I do exponentiation before I do subtraction. So I have to go ahead and do 3/2 squared. Well, 3/2 squared is the same as 9/4, because 3/2 squared is the same as 3/2 times 3/2. Well, 3/2 times 3/2 is 9/4. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to put an error there so you won't think it is subtraction. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I need to add this fraction. Well, to add fractions, I need to find the common denominator. That's understood to be 2/1 subtract 9/4. The common denominator between 1 and 4 is 4. 1 goes into 4 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 goes into 4 1 time. 1 times 9 is 9. It's the way most of you probably find your common denominator. Now we have 8/4 subtract 9/4. Once you get a common denominator, then you keep the denominator 4 and subtract or add the numerators. 8 subtract 9 would be a -1. So the answer is -1/4.